Hello everybody, happy Thursday. Welcome to my channel. Welcome. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for supporting the channel in any way that you can. So today I wanted to jump on yesterday. And I did record a video, but I just thought it was stupid. I'm going, what are you saying? You're not saying anything. Hopefully today I'll say something. It's hard to know in advance if it's going to be good or bad until you flip the cards over. But I have a little more focused intention today. So fingers crossed that we're not wasting our time. All right. I want to look at the State of the Union because I figured, well, if President Biden can give a speech, so can I. And then I want to break it down into the state of the Republican Party, state of the Democratic Party, state of the United States, the Union. We could even go global too, if we choose to. A lot of what the United States brings to the table is global leadership. So I think that's kind of where that may end up, but we'll see. Before I jump into it, let's throw some energy cards using the 7 energies of Colette Baron Reed, her deck there. And as I was thinking of this, I pulled 3 cards, and the cards that I got were birds of a feather. And I was thinking of this. Birds of a feather, are we one or are we separate? So I'm thinking of the Democratic Party, thinking of the Republican Party, and I think that those labels don't fit so much. So what flock do I belong to? And I go, well, I think it would be more along the progressive line. And I go, is that right? And then I'm thinking of the labels, and I feel like our labels of progressive, liberal, Democrat, conservative, Republicans, MAGA, they're not fitting anymore. They don't say the true, they don't give the true essence. Because, and I go, well, why is that? Well, then the card fell out of the deck because we are in uncharted seas. And I went, oh, well, that makes sense. We're all like in this time stream that we choose to be here. So don't go crazy and go, why are we here? We choose to be here for some reason. And we could go into that later. But we chose to be here for a specific reason, I think, to observe, to help in a creation of a new, better way. And as I was thinking of these uncharted seas, why am I here, blah, 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 the next card I got was Awakened Genius. And when I look at this card and I look at the weathered face, the knowledge that went into this lifetime of this image, and I look at it and I went, is that a male or a female? Is that grandmother or grandfather? Is that Democrat or Republican? Goes back to, it doesn't matter what the label of the human is on this. It's the genius of the life knowledge that this person accumulated. And because I associate it with grandfather, grandmother, it's also the shared knowledge down to us younger folk, as youngsters. So as we find ourselves in this unified flock, and we label ourselves, be careful how we label ourselves, because there's more and more people coming in that have different labels. And if we say you've got to be this, you can't join in, we may be surprised because the person next to us, well, it may just be your hillbilly brother. Little squirrel moment coming up. My hillbilly brother sent me an email this morning. And in it, now he doesn't believe in aliens. He doesn't believe, he's pretty cut and dry. He's not a MAGA, but he looks and dresses like one. He sent me an email on realism. Never heard of it. It's founded in 1974 in France by Claude Viorhon. He's an former automotive journalist. I'm like, where is this going? And so he founded this like religion or something that teaches there is no God, but it does teach that space aliens, known as Elohim, created all life on Earth. And they often get mistaken for gods. Like, who sent me this? What did you do with my brother? So, there is a huge shift. We are in this uncharted sea. We are awakening something in all of us that's going to bring us closer together. That's what I choose to believe. That's the vibration I'm setting up. So whoever's watching this, if you are for inclusivity, if you are for people succeeding in all forms of life, whatever, all forms of life succeeding, welcome to the channel. I don't care what political bent you are, what color you are, what sexual preference you are. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Enough of that. Well, not enough of that. We could use more of that. But let's get into my version of the State of the Union. We're going to look into the Republicans. The decks that I'm using are Light Seers Tarot, very beautiful. Lo Scaribo. And then if I need a clarity, I will use Meister Tarot's Clarity deck. It's the Republican Party. It's hard to make sense out of them for me. They are going... It's just hard to make sense out of it. When I grew up, it was a party of small government, fiscal responsibility, and law and order. And I know that may be wrong, but I was young. I was naive. That's what I thought the Republican Party was. And now it's like turned on its head. It's bigger government. It's authoritarian government. And it's so divided and so... Anyway. Going back to a simpler time, Six of Cups. I hope we get to that point where they go back to a simpler time. And I really want to have another party to bounce ideas off of versus just one party ruling everything. I mean, how boring would that be? We need to have both sides and maybe three having a triangle to bounce ideas off of so that we can come to the center in an agreement. But in order to have that, you have to be willing to work together, which is not what the Republican Party seems to want to do. They just want to, well, I'm not going to say what they want because I'm not in the Republican Party. So what is the State of the Union for the Republican Party? And as I shuffle the cards, and it's just in such disarray. The RNC, how are they going to fund the down ballot issues when they don't even have a clear sense of what the issues are? That's what I heard. When all the money is going to the Trump org, well, because Laura Trump is now co-chair, unless they've already thrown out the head guy, and they could have by now. State of the Republican Party. What is the state of the Republican Party? And then we're going to get into the Democrats, and then we're going to get into the U.S. What is the state of the Republican Party? I don't know if I can believe these cards, but the cards never lie. The Republican Party, King of Pentacles, very first card out. Now, when I grew up, when I was young and naive, and by the way, I'm still pretty naive and young, I still think that the Republican Party has that image with them. Let's make a lot of money. And if I'm not opposed to making a lot of money, I'm opposed to hoarding it and having and not sharing it. I'm opposed to that. I'm opposed to, I know this is going to shock some people, buying mega yachts that are 300, 400 feet long for two people. Not to mention names, Jeff Bezos. I like boats. You can have a sailboat. That'd be good. But I digress. Money. State of the Union. State of the Republican Party. Ooh, it's being challenged by balance. Certainly there are some Republicans that are not MAGA. And you look at Nikki Haley's base, or who she's bringing in, who are still voting for her today. Even though Trump is now the presumptive guy, can't believe it, but there is a balance going on here. Interesting. So, and at the base of the reading, Three of Pentacles. They're trying to bring somebody in together. This can also be dark money, though. And certainly there's enough of that dark money to go around. Yikes. In the past, as it relates to this reading, again, cards don't lie. Boom. Tower. Their base is crumbling. I mean, Donald Trump is not the way to move this party forward. It's not a way for balance. So they're working at this. There's some people that are at the base of this reading that are working at it. Two of Pentacles up at the top. This is juggling finances, juggling projects in really rocky water, coming together to create, look at the big old 8, to create something new. But they're being thrown off balance with the water energy, with the cup energy, Joe Biden. Potential near future is the 6 of coins. Giving and receiving. Giving and receiving help. Sometimes you have to ask for help before you can get it. Handouts. I mean, certainly when I look at this and I go, where is this card going? It could be the Supreme Court that I'm thinking. Let's just keep going. Internally, we have the Queen of Swords. What's going on with this balance card that we have crossing the King of Pentacles? Well, we have the Queen of Swords, and in this deck, this Queen of Swords is like a take no prisoners type. She takes the sword, cuts off some old white dude's head, long gray hair, but good thing he's got a beard. Good thing I don't. So there's legal issues coming up. I know, shocking. You heard it here first. The Republican Party has legal issues coming. Externally, the Hermit card. This is an interesting card to have in the external influences affecting the Republican state. It's the Hermit is an isolation card, but it's also a shedding light on certain things card. Shedding light on some of the well, you look at all the darkness, all the dark energy, there's some light that's being shown on this. And I can't help to think, but that Queen of Swords, that legal issue, is helping. The hopes and fears. Death card. Hopefully, the Republican Party, and so when I read the death card, it's always a death and rebirth card. So hopefully the Republican Party isn't completely dead, but they're going through a rebirth so that we can actually move forward with different points of view to create a better United States. Certainly not in its current state. So it's got to die to be reborn into something better. And the final card of the state of the Republican Party, you know, I'm thinking that death card, rebirth, and I was all feeling maybe, and I'm going, yeah, the Temperance card, they're coming into a balance. I'm feeling all warm and fuzzy. Oh, good things are going to happen. The 8, they're juggling the rebirth. The last card I get is they're still addicted. I'm getting chills. They're still addicted to the devil. They're tied to the devil. Who are they tied to? The King of Pentacles. Who is that energy? It's the MAGA Trump energy. It's the addiction energy. This addiction just tied to this person. Because when you really ask these guys, well, what do you want? What do you want in your household, in your neighborhood? Do you want people to be fighting all along? Fighting in your neighborhood, carrying guns and no, they don't want that. They want to say well, I want to be able to if I want, which, anyway. The addiction, the devil. They are really, really tied up. There's a restriction there. It's like, oh, dang. And there is a really rough road ahead of them. But look at the way that this Ten of Wands is bundled. It's not like in the Rider-Waite. This deck, they put the wands neatly packed on this guy's back. He can see the path ahead. It is, it's not too windy. It's got a little dip. A little dip. I'll put a little dip right in. When I lived in Arizona, people go, yeah, you got a dip? Just put a little dip right there. And I tried that snuff stuff. Oh my God. Oh, I don't know if any of y'all do that. I don't know if that's worse than smoking or what, but anyway, back. Let me come back from the squirrel moment. So there is a little dip in the road for the Republican Party, and then it's going to flatten out, it feels like, from the cards. What they put on their back, it's just all simmering. It's all smoky. It just burned up. It's yeah. I think there's maybe some core stuff that may be good, but they're burning it up. It's anyway. I don't want to go into that. At the base of the reading, we have the Lovers. We have going back to a simpler time. We have they're stabbing themselves in the back, walking away from sorrow. So the State of the Union for the Republican Party. They do want to bring balance, but they're in a tower moment. They do want to figure out how to work together, but they're got too much giving and receiving. Excuse me. And I'm thinking there's too much dark money coming in. They are definitely facing a rebirth. And to get that rebirth, they have to go through the death process. And they have to let go of their addictions. Little dip. They're probably chewing. They got to let go of that addiction. Okay, so I'm going to put these back in there, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Democratic Party. So that seems to be, in my limited awareness, that the Democrats kind of have flipped the script. Before they would not be able to really articulate what was going on. They were known as the party that just wanted to give away things, socialism and not socialist, social programs, which is where the Republicans picked up on socialism, which it isn't. It isn't. I mean, we have our roads that we all drive on. We have libraries. Certain things in our society are socialism, and they're good. The Republicans talking about getting rid of Social Security. And I hear my Republican brother going, we paid for that. We paid into that. But the government's running it and dispensing it. So it is a form of socialism, Medicare, blah, blah, blah. But those are good things. It's not totalitarianism, socialism. I don't know what I'm talking about here. Okay, let's move on. But the Democrats never really seem to articulate their position very clearly. I'm feeling that is changing. when you look at how the Democrats were talking to the DOJ guy who wrote the report on Biden, I think his name is Hurd, and Swalwell just tore into him. Said, are you trying to be a Trump appointee? Are you trying to get onto the Trump cabinet? Promise me that, why don't you just say right now you're not going to do that? And the guy wouldn't. He wouldn't say. So he did resign the day before he gave his testimony, or was in front of Congress being questioned. The Republicans are trying to smooth it over and say Biden is an old fart, and he is. And it goes back to that Reagan comment. And I know they keep going back to Reaganism. Reaganism is dead. The Reagan Republicans are gone. There is no such thing anymore. Again, labels. But when Reagan told Mondale, I'm not going to let your youth and inexperience, what did he say? I'm not going to hold it against you that you have youth and inexperience, or something along those lines. And Mondale goes, at that moment, I knew I had lost when he said that. And it feels like the Democrats are just grabbing hold of their messaging and really sticking it to the Republicans. The problem that I see with this is that in those days, the days of old, there was only a few channels to watch. Now there is a lot more channels to watch, but nobody flips. I mean, I don't watch Fox News. I don't go over to that channel because it drives me nuts. And I'm nuts enough. I don't need anything to make me any more crazy. So, and they feel the same way about watching MSNBC. I don't know what I think about CNN. I mean, I can't watch. I've been watching a little bit of AC. I just can't watch a lot of that stuff. All right, Democratic. Yikes. Just throw the cards, Danny. Democrats. What's going on with the Democrats? Oh, I want to use lights here. Just because lights here too. Democratic Party. What is the state of the union? The state. Ooh. These aren't wanting to shuffle very. What is the state for the Democratic Party? What is the state? Okay, what is the state of the Democratic Party? All right, 8 of Cups, walking away from sorrow. This is a little bit about what I was just saying. I think they're grabbing onto it. They're moving ahead, and they were never like when the Republicans say, "Oh yeah, we're the party of making money," but when you go back and look at it, it's the Democratic administrations that did the best financially. So there's like this disconnect. Oh, the Republicans know how to spend money, make money, keep things in line, but it's the Democrats who actually drop the deficit. All right, and they do know how to spend money. But if you have the money, spend it. Okay. Party time. 3 of Cups, coming together to celebrate. Walking away from sorrow, coming together to celebrate. At the base of the reading is the Wheel of Fortune. Yay, 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 yay. This is their time. This is the time. In the past, they're just checking it out. They're looking for their wave to come in. You're going, is this a good time to jump in the ocean? Should I catch the wave? What's up, dude? Waiting to catch the right wave. At the top of the reading is working hard, getting inspired. It's being ignited by a lot of cash coming in with this Eight of Pentacles here. But this is a hard work card. And potential near future, Seven of Pentacles. They got more work to do. They're tending to things. They're let me drop this down. I don't know if I dropped it down on the last one so you could see. So this, you have the Eight of Pentacles at the top of the reading where you get, it's just a lot of hard work. But the Seven of Pentacles, I mean, that is, we need to cultivate and nurture this seven before you get to the eight. So this is where we are right now. This is the overshadowing card. So right now, we're working pretty hard at it. Queen of Pentacles. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Yeah, who says the Republicans are the party of money? This looks like we are the party of money. But we got some secrets too externally. There's some things that are going to be coming up. There's some things that are going to be coming up that are going to surprise us as well. Maybe some things that aren't, that we normally wouldn't say we're really proud of, that are going to come to the surface. Yeah. In the hopes and fears, the Ten of Wands. Notice this Ten of Wands versus the Republican Ten of Wands in the hopes and fears. The Republican Ten of Wands, it was a burden on them. They were carrying these smoldering wands on their back. The Democrats put it on a bull and walk beside the bull. So the Democrats could be saying, yeah, we are going to be, or the beast, I should put. I don't know if that's a bull or what. But the Democrats enlist an animal to help them carry their burden. Now, doesn't feel like the animal is that put out by it. The woman's got the wind to her back and is moving on. She's already come down the path. Hopes and fears, Democrats, that we can move away and we can manage this load. Certainly they are managing the load, Democratic Party. The state of the Democratic Party is Joe Biden, the King of Cups. There is a calmness to this guy. You got a boat sailing. We were talking about sailboats. It's not about big mega yachts. It's about getting in a sailboat. It's about calmness. It's about being a king energy in this crazy, crazy world. There is something that we're not looking at yet. And I think it goes back to this moon card. We're being offered something and we're not seeing it. We're not taking it. We're looking at some of these other cups that maybe are not full. But here we have the Three of Cups Maybe we're focused on the celebration and not focusing in on what's being offered to us a little bit. I don't know. We'll find out. And then, oh, we have the Page of Cups. A little disjointed energy, a little surprise coming out. Like, yeah, when pigs fly, something's going to happen. Well, in this deck, down, where is it? Up here, pigs are flying. So the Republican Party seems, let's look at the base. We have Judgment. Here's the Hermit again. Different energy. We have the Five of Swords, winning at any cost and moving on. So there's a releasing, there's a new information coming out. There's this Five of Swords that they're going to have to deal with and move on from that. Just because the Republicans are saying we're winning at any cost doesn't necessarily mean that the Democrats need to follow that suit. Well, because the Republicans are they're in a lot more underwater than the Democrats are. At least that's the way it felt from those readings. So the state of the Democratic Party feels really good. It feels like they're really putting in the work. It feels like they're getting the money. Feels like there's some secrets that are going to come up later on that we're going to have to look at that may surprise us a little bit. Yeah, okay, all right. You know, all these politicians, especially the way that our system is set up now with all this dark money being able to come in. And when you have to generate $10 million just to run a campaign, you cannot tell me that that's all positive money coming in. Can't tell me that. Now, if it was all small donors, that would maybe help. But these big corporations, wasn't that under the Bush administration where the Supreme Court says that these super PACs can give unlimited amounts of money? So there's something with that, and it goes on both sides. Right now we're focused on a lot of the Republicans, but maybe not so. Who is it? The Menendez guy? So, all right. Let's look at what deck should I use. I'm going to pause this. What deck should I use for the State of the Union? Hang on. Okay, so the deck that I'm using is, there you go, can you see it? True Black. I had to spread them out because this deck, what's the bottom? Temperance. Awesome. Because this deck is, the card stock is so hard. So I've already laid them out upside down. I'm going to drop this down and we're going to pull them out and see. All right. I had to do the Johnny spread where you lay them out and then pull each one out because they just don't. I love this deck, but they're hard for my hands to manipulate. Anyway, here we go. The State of the Union for the United States, and this is probably World 2. Moving on, the Chariot. Do you think? And it's being crossed by, covered by, challenged by the Nine of Cups. The Wish card. So when you look at this, it feels like we're taking a nap. And so if this is the wish card, wishes fulfilled, are we just like napping and hope that some dream comes true that we want? Or are we opening our eyes? Both of these cards, their eyes are, this card, the guy's not watching where he's going either. So it feels like with these first two cards, the state of the union and possibly the world is that we're moving without clear intention. We have our eyes closed to a lot of this stuff. We have the Four of Cups. How are we looking at our world? Is it half full, full, 3/4 full? Interesting that there's no empty cup in here. There's no offer being made. They're all full to some extent. So there are no empty cups. So even if you take one of them, you're gonna have water. So often we think of things as, and I look at the border crisis, I look at gun issues. If we don't do anything, nothing is fixed. If we don't take any cup, we're not going to be able to get a drink. Just take a cup. Whether it's half full, 3/4 full, 1/4 full, at least you'll have something. In the past, as it relates, we have the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups is trying to bring us some comfort, some knowledge, and she has in the past, but there's still a little bit of unknown with this card. And at the top of the reading, we have the Six of Wands. This card's very interesting to me because it almost looks like the Strength card. The strength of Six of Wands is coming in as a winner, coming in as strength. And I'm not sure, maybe you guys can figure that out, why the helmet or the safari hat is on the ground. If I read the book, I would know. But it's also, the knife is in the ground. So it's like, let's stop the fighting. Let's just ride in on strength, ride in as a winner. The US, the world. And in the potential near future, we have the Seven of Cups, illusion, delusion. What's the right path to go? What do we do? Make sure we pick the right cup, because it could be wrong, to get to the Golden Palace. The internal position of the card is the Ace of Wands. And this is all about, what are we creating? What do we want to create? What do we want to write as a contract for us moving forward? And moving forward, the external position is the Five of Pentacles. This is loss, devastating loss, breaking apart loss. In other decks, I say it's moral bankruptcy, hopes and fears. We have the Hierophant. The hopes and fears is our government. And in thinking about this today, that uncharted card that we got, uncharted seas, do y'all think that our government is going to be the same after these 4 years? Can it be the same, or is it going to be something totally different? We have the High Priestess as the final outcome card. You can see the artwork on this. There's some secrets that will be coming out. It's asking us to use our intuition. It's asking us to tap into a higher source. It's interesting. We have the Hierophant in the hopes and fears that hopefully we get to keep our government the way it is. The High Priestess is asking us to tap into our higher source, the higher way that we should use our government. As a clarifier to the High Priestess, we get the Ten of Pentacles, the Elephant energy, the Family card. And then just to make sure that everybody knows we're not just talking about the U.S., I got the World card. So often what we do as leaders is we show the world how it can be done. So there's world implications to what we are offering, how we move out of this illusion delusion, how we ride in as a winner, how we deal with broken economies, loss, devastating loss, how we deal with that, how we rewrite maybe our Constitution. And if I remember correctly, the Constitution isn't designed just to stay that one document. I believe it was created to be a living, breathing document that gets rewritten. I believe. So what do we got on the base of the deck? Temperance, balance. Wow. The Magician card. Two more. Hang on, they're sticking together. Not really sticking, magnetically together. We have a new emotional start with the Ace of Cups. And we have the Ten of Swords. Being stabbed in the back. This feels like the Sword of Truth, though, is standing tall. When I look at this intuitively, the other swords, they've already done their damage. And feels like there's a few more birds that can be stuck on some of these swords that don't have any on it. Or maybe they were just misses. It's not the way that you should use a sword to skewer, oh, it looks like a white dove. However, the one dove is standing on the sword of truth. So the State of the Union, the state of the world, we're a little confused, we're a little broken, but we do have movement. We do have the Ten of Cups. I'm sorry, Nine of Cups, the Wish card. Put our intentions out. This does affect the world, and we can ride in as a winner on strength. Because so often we see just the world is just going cray. Going cray. And it is. We have that illusion delusion cup. 7 of Cups. What are we taking? Which one do we want to pick? Pick the higher intentionality. Is that a word? All right. Thank you guys for watching. Ooh, I'm a little askew. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Appreciate you all. Be good to each other. Peace and love.